My name is Matt Reeves. I'm proud to represent Duluth, Suwannee, and Sugar Hill in the Georgia State House. Proud to be joined today by Mayor Brandon Hembry of the City of Sugar Hill, Commissioner Kirkland Carden, my good friend Joe Wilson, who helped me get elected and cares about property tax relief as a homeowner here in Gwinnett. And so let me talk a little bit about these two ballot measures, these homeowner tax relief ballot measures. The first ballot measure doubles the homestead for all 125,000 Gwinnett County property owners. The homestead exemption will reduce taxes. So even though the amount goes up, that's a good thing because that is doubling the amount that is sheltered from taxes. So that is the first ballot measure. The second ballot measure gives additional tax relief to public service employees in Gwinnett, and that's defined as law enforcement officers and first responders. Secondly, school employees. Third, active duty military personnel. And number four, our hospital employees. And when we formulated this bill last year in 2023 and it was signed by the governor, there were shortages in all four of those sectors, and those are the kind of hardworking people who it's great to have as neighbors here in Gwinnett County. In addition to have them working here in Gwinnett County, we want to have them as homeowners here in Gwinnett County. The nurses are near and dear to my heart. I brought this Legislator of the Year award from the Georgia Nurses Association last year for the Safer Hospitals Act, and so I'm proud to keep fighting for hospital employees through that public service employee additional exemption. And that's something unique in Gwinnett. I worked on a bipartisan basis with our 21 House members from Gwinnett. Proud of my commissioner is joining me from across the aisle today. But we listen to Democrats, Republicans, Independents. We engage with our school system, and we figured out a homestead amount that would match the needs of our school system and give homeowners property tax relief. So that's why we did that innovative idea of public service employee tax relief in addition to doubling the homestead for everybody. Again, this legislation was enacted last year by the House and Senate and Governor, but it must be voted upon May 20th by the people of Gwinnett County to become effective. So that's why we're having this press conference today, just to get the word out to the people of Gwinnett County that they now have the power to reduce property taxes on homeowners. For the first time since the 1980s, it's been 36 years since Gwinnett County homeowners have had an opportunity to vote to decrease the tax burden, and that is something to be excited about. I'd like to thank my co-sponsors on the bill, which is more than half of the Gwinnett County House delegation, and then the state senators from Gwinnett County also. It was a team effort to get this done. It's bipartisan problem solving on something that will benefit a lot of people here in Gwinnett County, and I'm proud to continue fighting for homeowners and taxpayers. Homeownership is the American dream. Homes are people's biggest asset. And so tax relief on homeowners is something that will be beneficial to a lot of people here in Gwinnett County. It sends the right message by the people of Gwinnett County that Gwinnett County is a great place to live, to work, to raise a family here in the home of Georgia's largest school system. So with that, I will open it up for questions. We got some knowledgeable people who joined me here today, and if y'all have any additional thoughts, I'm glad to let y'all say that. Let me talk about the mayor of Sugar Hill. Last year, he and his team in Sugar Hill brought homeowner property tax relief to the legislature. They asked for that to be put on the ballot, and the people of Sugar Hill enacted that tax relief with 87% of the vote. So I'm glad the mayor is here so that I can thank him for the work that he led in Sugar Hill to get tax relief. I was proud to join in that effort. And I wanted to get the word out to the people of Gwinnett County to let them know they have the opportunity to do what the people of Sugar Hill did last year. Mayor, Commissioner, y'all would like to say a few words, you're welcome to.
Well, I guess the only thing I would add is that I am 36 years old. The last time voters had an opportunity to vote on something like this was 1988, the same year I was born. So it will be interesting to see, well, it's not interesting, it's a good thing to give voters the opportunity to vote on a significant property tax reduction. I think that's all I got to add. Unless there's any questions, I'll be happy.
And I'll open it up for questions in a sec.
And I'd just like to say thank you to Representative Reeves and to all of the sponsors of this legislation. As he mentioned, we were able to do this for Sugar Hill residents last year, and it was the first time that they had seen an increase in the exemption in over 20 years. And so that, in combination with what Representative Reeves is doing for Gwinnett County, will make a huge difference for the residents in our communities all across Gwinnett County.
Thank you so much, Mayor. You're doing a fantastic job in Swanee. We're all proud of you. I tell you what, we had a great session this year. Ray Martinez, District 111 State Rep. What can I say about Matt? Matt has been, he contacted me a few months ago, even before the session started, and he told me about the homestead tax, the tax exception relief, and giving a relief to our citizens here in Gwinnett County, especially the homeowners. And I tell you, Matt has been a workhorse on this. Matt has worked hard on this, and I'm so glad that we were able to get it over the finish line. And I congratulate Matt and the whole Gwinnett delegation for doing this. It's a bipartisan issue. We all work together on for the citizens of Gwinnett County, and I'm so proud to be one of the sponsors of this bill that passed that the governor signed a few months ago or a few weeks ago. And Matt has done a phenomenal job, and I'm so proud of him. So I'm here to support Matt and, of course, our Gwinnett citizens. Thank you.
I want to thank each and every one of the elected officials who just spoke. Ray Martinez, I work with every day at the Capitol. He's former mayor of Loganville, and he and I started at the same time in the House, and he was very helpful in this regard. As vice chair of the Gwinnett delegation, he helped me to make sure that we communicated with all 21 House members, Republican, Democrat, and that we took into account the big picture of the benefit of Gwinnett County. So I want to thank everybody for those words, and I want to just open it up for questions. I really thank the members of the media for covering this issue that is a unique one and that it hadn't been done in over 3 decades. So with that, I'll open it up to your questions.
Mayor, could you talk about, I know they shifted the vote last year, but as you guys are kind of preparing the budget this year, what's been the impact of the increased homestead exemption in the city? Obviously, it's a smaller budget than the county budget, but
Much smaller budget.
Come on up, Mayor, and I'll introduce Lucy Mayers came out. She is an advocate for our local nurses, so thank you for coming out.
Thank you for the question. For us, not a huge impact from a city budget standpoint, just around $500,000. But again, any extra dollar in the pockets of our residents is beneficial.
And one thing that I remember talking about with various members of our delegation as well as school officials is the value of having a long-term homeowner who is invested in the community. They are more likely to volunteer for parent-teacher association or for kids' sports teams or to volunteer in the community. So there is a tremendous value of having homeowners invested in Gwinnett County. And so whatever dollar figure there is, we make up for it many times over through the dedication that homeowners bring to the community. Additionally, let me say, we are standing and fighting for homeownership with this referendum. There is a trend around Metro Atlanta and around the country of a decline in homeownership for various reasons. And so for Gwinnett County to say we want this to continue to be a good place for homeowners going forward, I think is something to be excited about. Any other questions?
I think the governor yesterday vetoed, I think, a statewide homestead exemption increase.
Yes.
Why do you think Gwinnett is able to get this done, or it's not your state?
Sure. House Bill 1019 doubled the state minimum homestead exemption by statute for the first time since 1978. That's what got vetoed. Gwinnett County is already above the state minimum, so that does not affect Gwinnett County. And this homestead that we have the ability to pass here in Gwinnett County, it will increase us even more. So we are a leader on homestead tax relief already, and this will double it and give additional money to school employees. That state minimum, it was discouraging. I worked on that bill. Speaker of the House asked me to work on that bill. It was very discouraging to see that, there are a lot of places around Georgia that homeowners are getting very minimal homestead benefits. Gwinnett County has done a good job, and this will definitely modernize our amount. But for a jurisdiction not to have increased their homestead since 1978, that needs some work. I'm committed to continuing to work on it. There was a glitch when it came back over from the Senate. The House was consistent with its position. The Senate had changed its numbers, and there was an error where they didn't correct the number on one of the references to the amount, and that's what got it vetoed. But I'm committed to continue to work on that. Additionally, let me mention House Bill 581. It's a 26-page bill. It has a lot of features that can help homeowners on the value part of the equation. The homestead exemption is important, but the value is also important. Gwinnett County has a very good value offset exemption, but the other portions of the tax bills around various jurisdictions in Gwinnett County will get to review House Bill 581 and decide whether to implement that or to opt out of that. But the general idea of that is it would index the value to the purchase price and inflation. That's the big picture of that, and jurisdictions can opt out.
If this passes in Gwinnett, do you see being able to use this to back to the governor at some point and say, well, maybe there is some value for the state life?
Oh, absolutely. You bet. There was some talk. The House was at 4,000 on the state minimum, and the Senate said, let's do 10,000. And I think they realized that was going to have trouble passing. It has to get 2/3 of the legislature and then a majority vote statewide. And so they attempted to change back to 4, which the House had sent over, but they left 10,000 in one of the references. That's what caused the veto. There's been some review of possibly doing a graduated amount, so it may be 4, 6, 8, something like that. But Gwinnett County is getting the benefit of tax relief through this referendum if it passes. And Representative Martinez mentioned it, but from day one, when I got to the Capitol, I started working on the Gwinnett County tax relief, and the fact that we spent, it was about 2 months, January and February of 2023, we had it carefully reviewed, and we had buy-in in the House and the Senate. We sent something to the governor that had many eyes on it for a long period of time, and I think that's the success of the Gwinnett County referendum, is it was a team effort that was carefully reviewed and had a lot of buy-in. I think it ended up being about unanimously passed by the Gwinnett delegations.
Do you guys have any numbers on how much property owners could end up saving?
Yes. The total per year right now under the current millage rate is about $10 million a year, and of course the millage rate goes up over time. For the doubling of the homestead, the 125,000 homeowners, I think it will be around $120 a year under the current tax rates. And then for the public service employees, it will be closer to $200 a year. And some people may say, well, that's not a lot, but I point out, multiply that times 35, and that does add up. Additionally, for homeowners who have mortgages, which is most of us, I'm one of them, who have escrow, for every, $10, $50, $100, there's a multiplied effect on your escrow. So it's going to increase the take-home pay of homeowners in Gwinnett County who need the relief the most. Any questions? And Josh and Sue on Zoom, feel free to unmute and ask questions. Any questions? Okay. Anything that anybody's thought of to add? All right. Well,
I'll ask a question.
Josh, thank you.
Yeah, sorry I had to join a little late, so apologies if this was addressed at the beginning, but I'm at the AJC, I'm on the education team, and I just wanted to hear a little bit more about, if how the school district may be consulted on this.
Sure.
There's obviously revenue implications, and then also this includes teachers and other staff as well.
Absolutely. The school district got to a point where they are neutrals. They are not participating in actively supporting or opposing the bill, but they were consulted from day one on this, Josh. We did reach out to the school district officials, and I worked with them both in touch with them over the phone and in person throughout the process. The data we got, that number that I just gave of $10 million a year, that was a figure that they were comfortable with initially, and that number was something that was calculated in consultation with them. They are sophisticated at looking at the numbers of the values increasing and of numbers over time. They are very good stewards of taxpayers' money and budgeting, and so they looked at it and said, we think that that $10 million a year that the price tag is for this is worth it in the way of home ownership and other benefits. And then having their teachers and their school employees on the list of people who are getting extra tax relief is certainly something I think that helped in that process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. All right. Any other questions? I want to thank y'all for the coverage of this issue. Thank you for your time today. I'm glad for any follow-ups offline, and thank you for covering this issue of these two tax relief measures. Let me point out it's towards the end of the ballot. So for people who read their sample ballots or in the voting booth, go all the way to the end of the ballot, because on the sample ballot, I have not yet voted, but the sample ballots I've seen, it's the last two questions on the ballot. And it's not multiple choice. You could vote for both of them. And if you vote yes, taxes will go down. If you vote no, the taxes will stay the same the way they are. So that's everything I could think of on this. We really appreciate your time, and I'd like to thank the officials coming out, as well as nurses and homeowners. Thank you.